You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
The views expressed by the individuals during this broadcast are their own opinions, and they may not be the same as those of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Pace Radio Show. We're live at paceradio.net, but we're also live on YouTube and Facebook as well. Good evening, Tamara. How you doing?
I'm doing. How are you, Al?
Not too bad. Tired. But,
it's Wednesday, so Wednesday night I did the late shift and then the morning shift, and so Wednesdays is not mine. But I do, like I said, I could work straight nights, but I do this to myself so I can do this show. Like that's why I work Wednesday day shift, right? So I do it for a reason, and the tired is worth it.
Yeah. Well, you'll work Tuesday night and then get up for Wednesday morning, but you get off from Wednesday night till Thursday night.
I don't work now till 3:00 tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah.
It gives me a long kind of turnover too. But I specifically asked for Wednesday day shift so I could make sure, because they had switched my days off for a while because we had another lady working for us. And then when they started me working 6 days a week, they asked me which day I wanted off, which I didn't care. And at one point I had Wednesday the whole day off to do the show, right? And then she wanted Wednesday so that they could change me to Saturday. So they had a day during the week that they could go do business appointments and doctor's appointments, right? So I work day shifts so that they can actually have a day that they can actually go and
they can leave.
They can get at all till 3:00. So they have like that whole day to actually go and do their appointments and stuff that they need to get done, because my one boss is diabetic, right? So he has to have regular blood tests and stuff done too. So
everybody needs time to do that.
Well, like I said, it works better for them because and then her mom is in her 90s and she lives with them too, and sometimes they got to take grandma to the doctor, so they're things that they'd have to do. So, and it worked out well for me because, like I said, then I've got Wednesday night free to do the show.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah, the you can see the dewdrop over my shoulder here.
Yes.
You can see I got a little water line in there. I had it out on the weekend. Had a nice sunny, nice day out for a walk. Took it with me. Enjoyed it out in the country. And then when I got home the other day, Gail had me this container.
Right.
And it's big enough that I can put some alcohol in here, okay,
right.
And put my apple or my dewdrop inside here and soak it overnight.
Right.
Pull it out in the morning and it's clean.
Right. I know. I think that's a great idea because, like I said, I never thought of that. But there's so many other like pipes and bongs and stuff over the years that were really hard to clean if you would have had.
Yeah.
I would have thought like a coffee can or whatever, right? Never thought of that. That's a great idea.
Yeah, I've got a vapor bond, a Roar vapor bond, with TY Roar vapor bond. Actually, that can be a problem. It has spots in it that's hard to get at to clean.
Yep.
And something like that, the base of it would fit in there. This might be just big enough for me to put that in there.
Right.
So that bottom part of where it's the problem will.
Because it'll have that spot where the pipe or the stem comes out of the bong, right? And you can never get on that bottom piece, right? The only thing I ever found that actually works is if you salt and ice, and you have to really make it. But then again, you're risking chipping or hurting, because the ice can be hard. But
because you can put some people use ISO. Our sponsors, Limestone City Hydroponics, they actually carry high proof alcohol for patients to use to clean
Yep, they're items.
Like I've got a container I clean my scissors in from harvesting.
Yeah.
I've been cleaning my pipes and stuff without this. Now I'll just throw it right in here. My grinders, like I'll tell you, I gotta clean the things like once a week.
Yeah, I know, right? When you're using them that often.
Yeah, it's just gone right.
No,
really,
you can't use them.
It can be a problem, but really, it's a good problem because of the fact that if it's gumming up, then there's a lot of trichomes on that cannabis, right?
Yeah. Yep. If you got gummy scissors and gummy stuff, that means you got
Yeah.
some trichomes there.
Oh,
And the
yeah.
stickiness,
Like it leaks out the end of the joint.
yeah, right.
Yeah, that.
That's the kind I've missed that because when you smoke legal weed, you don't get that. Like I'm looking at some of the papers and I'm going, like, is there even any resin on that? Like, it's white. Like, seriously, like.
Oh, yeah, let me just see.
Like I said, this is what you're getting out of the legal market. Like I remember back in the day, we're talking like early '90s when we were like getting ourselves in trouble with this really good skunk weed by and actually got himself busted selling that stuff, and it was a big conspiracy for the purpose of there was 13 of them they busted in that ring, and my husband was at the bottom level of it. My ex-husband, like we're talking like in the
that's nothing.
He got busted. It was 89 and 90. He got busted, and he did 45 days for his first offense for selling cannabis. But they had a book. They came into our house. They busted our condo. They had a photo album this thick of pictures of it, and they had my car. They actually seized my Mustang because it was used for transporting. Right.
Okay.
It was, and I was young. Like I was like 18, 19, right, when this was going on. But the cannabis we had was skunk. It was called skunk. And it was like the stinkiest, stickiest, and like you couldn't even get it through a joint. I'd smoke a joint, 2, 3, I'd be sleeping. Like it just knocked me right out. I didn't even sleep.
Really? That it wasn't uplifting?
Oh no, it was like indica. Like it was like couch lock.
Okay.
Oh, it was good. But I mean, like back then I was like lightweight, had barely started smoking cannabis, and I like 4 puffs and I'd be asleep on the couch. So I didn't smoke. But the stink, holy, it was stinky.
It's stinky.
Yeah.
I got some more questions to ask you, but just so you know, I've got some stuff here tonight to go over, like we normally do. I got some continuation of women in cannabis. Got a continuation of that. Why they're buying so much and talking about the growing of cannabis for the women. We're gonna get into taxes. You love talking about cannabis taxes, so we're gonna get into that tonight as well. And let's see what else. Some trials. Oh, some driving stuff. Yeah, there's some medical information. So we've got different things to discuss throughout the show.
That's excellent. Well, like I said, we always end up finding, there's so much, like there isn't as much news as there used to be since legalization. That's for sure.
Yeah, and
stuff that does come up.
It's sharing education, sharing knowledge, sharing stuff that's just came out in the news, whatever, right?
Yeah. So. And unfortunately, the states didn't get some of the outcomes that they wanted, and even the states that had referendums on cannabis didn't get the outcomes.
Yeah, exactly. And there's still some challenges going on with some of them too.
Right, but here's the thing too with the barriers. Like they had 57%, and it had to be at 60.
Yeah, that was Florida. Correct. That was the Florida.
Right, and that just seems to me to be kind of ridiculous. Like 50-50, like it should be like at a 51 or 52.
50% plus 1, right?
Right, exactly.
That's the majority.
But you got it at this level of 60%, and it's like 3% below that they don't even budge. And I'm thinking that's just, isn't that round up?
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, that's the way they set it up, right?
Like it
people say it was set up to fail because
that's exactly
it was that high, right?
For failure, right?
And they would know through their own internal surveying about what the percentage of support is within the states, just through polling, right?
Well, I foresee
and if they know that it's only like 52%, and they set a standard at 60,
Yeah.
then that makes it, a better chance that it's going to fail, right?
Well, I first see the pot laws in the States becoming reinforceable. I see them really cracking down on cannabis in the States in the next, I really do. Especially
Okay.
after watching a program um, on Ecuador. Was it Ecuador? And how their prison system is set up.
Oh, okay, right.
How they've got, like, how their president decided that he was going to go under a state of emergency and clean out the gangs. They have MS-13 basically locked down in a private
Right.
jail that they built. It's 8 football fields long. Each cell has 80 inmates in it. They are stacked on top of each other with no mats, no blankets. They have one toilet. They have a pit that they put water in for them to wash with. There's zero human rights allowed. They're allowed out of that cell for 30 minutes a day to exercise in the hallway. They don't ever get to see the
Yay.
day. And this is how Matt Gaetz, who thinks that's a great
Mm.
solution in the United States. So
Yeah.
I don't see it being
Yeah.
good. And that means that they're going to crack
Hopefully, we
down,
won't have to worry about him.
right? Like cracking down on cannabis too. Like that's going to be
I'm seeing a mix, is what I'm seeing in the future down there, because they have talked about letting the states decide. So I see an uneven way that the laws will be applied across the whole country, where some states will be 100% in favor of it, and some states will be against it. People will be charged for simple possession of cannabis. Some of them may receive long jail sentences, or longer than what is really
I was
can't think
trying
of
to
a word
explain
to put in there.
to some of my friends in the US that people up here at one point in time with mandatory jail sentencing, people with cannabis offenses would get charged for a longer sentencing than somebody who had sexually assaulted somebody. And they were
Well,
upset.
yeah. That's what it was. Yeah, correct. It was.
It was.
Yeah, it
And
was.
again,
Yeah,
and again, like they find that appalling, but because their sexual
yeah.
assault rate, they get like 25 to life down in the States for that kind of stuff, right? Up
Okay.
here, yeah, like that's even though they think women are shit, they still charge, because it's it's different sentencing. Like they get a little harsher on them. It's a felony down there. Where
Well, it
here
seems
it's
to
slap
be.
on the damn wrist.
I don't want to get into that part, but it seems to be pretty popular in a certain spot right now. So
Yeah. Anyways, that's
yeah. So give us a bit of an update to what's going on with the CSP.
Well, we made it out this weekend, by the look of my ass, because we've got stuff stuck in the mail. And yeah, so with that being said, I hustled up and made some candy and did my thing, and we made it out there. We've serviced 60 people again. So we're looking at about
in one location.
one location,
One
and
location.
that's one of 4 in town. I haven't been to the other locations
Oh
because
yeah, we had talked last week that
right.
it's going to be hard for you to go to all the locations, and you're looking at maybe just going to the one.
And now this one, because of where it's located, is kind of like you come off the top one of the industrial roads, right?
Mhm.
And then you have to go in kind of through through our open field, right? And the road,
Oh, okay.
like let's put it this way, the hot chocolate was all over the front seat of my car. And I had
so you're off-roading it.
I was just like, so it's like, and never mind, and then it's down and up and whatever.
Like
But
hot
yeah,
chocolate. Hope your seats are vinyl, not
it
cloth.
was just on the floor. It was just on the floor, not my seats.
Oh,
okay.
okay.
And I have a mat, so it's
Floor mat, hopefully.
floor mat.
Hot chocolate just make a big stain, man.
It hit the floor mat, thankfully, and that was it. But I mean,
Yeah.
I'm going in there and I'm trying to drive and hold on to the coffee can, like the coffee pot itself, because it was moving around inside the milk crate. And I'm like, oh. Anyways, I got it without too big of a deal.
Yeah.
Love that. They love the hot chocolate, but
Good.
it's going to be an issue with the winter because we got snow today, and they don't plow that road. So I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get in there this weekend.
Oh, but so did you had enough snow that your roads were plowed?
We've had 5 inches of snow today already, and it's
5 inches.
It started this morning, and it's just been coming down. Oh, like not kidding you.
I
gotta go now and find my goddamn snow shovel because
we have a couple over the next 2 weeks. We have a couple faint chances of some flurries showing up.
Sunday.
There is one day. There's one day it says 1 to 3 centimeters.
Yeah, well, that's what ours said.
And it's only like 40% or something. So that's that's maybe.
Yeah. Well, like I said, they told us
so
until mid-November. It's
okay.
mid-November.
So you got to deal with this supply issue also, obviously, with the mails going out.
Thankfully,
can people use courier?
Well, they can, but again, it's way more expensive, right?
More expensive,
I heard it's $86 to send an envelope through Perlator now because now, of course, the mail strike. So now they've raised their prices because they're now.
Yeah. Supply and demand, yeah.
So Amazon you can get because they've never shipped through Canada Post, right? They've always shipped through third-party couriers. So your Amazon stuff is fine to get, but anybody shipping out of like anywhere else, if you go through Perlator or FedEx, DHL, UPS, whatever they are, yeah, you're going to pay 60, 70, 80 bucks. Like I paid $50 for a big, huge 12.5 kilogram box to come from Nova Scotia, right? Through Canada Post. It was only $50 is all I had to pay for that box, right? Which of course came out of our donation money. But again, Canadian Lumber sent me that out, and thankfully it made it before the mail strike too, but it came Canada Post too. But it was $50. That box per liter probably would have cost me $200.
Oh. Well,
25 kilograms. It was 45 pounds.
In the post office, depending on what you're moving around, you got those, like if they.
This wasn't in a prepackaged box.
I guess these papers they come in like a square box type thing.
Oh, they sent me. Here, I'll show you. They sent me a box with.
You box. It's not a little box, folks. She said box.
Little box. It had 4 of these inside of it.
Holy!
Are stuffed full of papers.
You got 4 of those.
4 of these, and they're all the different kinds. So they sent me 2 boxes of the woods, right? And then they also sent me a box of the greens, and then they also sent me a box of. Oh, where is it? They're called the hippies. The hippies. They have another one that I don't.
You're using the hippies. That's why you can't find them.
No, the hippies are probably out there. They're right here.
Hey, puppy.
That's the box that I opened for the weekend, like to take out was the hippies. So these are the hippies.
Okay. And are they thin or?
Yeah, they're all right.
They're all right. Good stuff.
I just opened a pack tonight. So this isn't stuff for me, right? So I don't really utilize much of it. But I did grab 1 pack of the hippies just to check them out. But yeah, they're nice and thin. And then they come with like
filters
too, right? So
right, nice.
So that's one of our sponsors for CSP is Canadian Lumber. They send us, and every CSP across the country, Canadian Lumber has sponsored. So they do Halifax, Surrey, Langley, Cranbrook, and I believe they send out to Vancouver too. I'm not positive about that one, but I know that Rosie gets these for Surrey, Dan gets these for Langley, and Chris gets them in Halifax, and now I get them in Cranbrook. So Canadian Lumber, they're our sponsors for our
Alrighty. Right? Good.
Great.
Yeah, you always need papers if you're.
We didn't have them. They showed up Friday, so we had them. This is the first weekend that we've had them, and we've already been going out 6 weeks now, right?
Right. So those are now. I'm assuming those are for pre-rolls, or are you giving out packages with some cannabis?
I give them out a pack of papers this weekend. We gave them a pack of papers. Before I was just kind of utilizing all the papers I had from every event before. I had like a whole bunch of papers from the TY and like
I've got a container of those.
Oh yeah. So I had like lots of papers from leftover events and stuff. So what I did is I just kind of utilized those. And then at the first weekend I only gave them out because I had very little cannabis, right? I gave them each a gram and then 2 papers and
oh, okay.
Because Rosie had sent me out a couple books when she sent me out her first sponsorship package, right? So I did that with 2 papers and some like I just ripped everything apart. Now since we've had some more cannabis donated and stuff, they're getting now 2 grams of cannabis, and a pack of papers they were given. If they still have papers, they'll tell me because they're pretty honest about that. I ask them, "Do you have papers?" If they say yes, they don't get any. If they say no, then I give them a book of papers, right? And then I
Right.
know that they've been back. Like I know who they are. They've been here every weekend, right? They've been the same
Hmm.
people, kind of thing. I haven't had. I've had a couple new ones in this last couple weeks, but it's pretty the same people. So I know who's gotten papers and who hasn't, right?
Right.
So if they tell me that they haven't got any papers, I'll go, "Yes, you do. I gave you some last weekend." "Oh, yeah, yeah." Right? So, like, they're pretty like, I mean, they like I said, they know that they can't pull the wool over my eyes. Like, we've already kinda gauged each other as to how much my limitations are gonna be with them and what. Because I've
Hmm.
got one guy that, always asks for more cannabis, and I said, "No, man. Until everybody's taken care of, if there's anything left over, I can maybe hand you an extra one." I says, "But, it's one pack for everybody until everybody's taken care of, and then if I've got extra, then yes, I'll help you out, right?"
Right.
Sometimes I have extra and sometimes I don't. And this weekend he was just ended up being lucky and I had a couple extra to give him. So he got a couple extra grams. But I mean, if that's what helps him and I've got extra, I'm not gonna tell them no. Right.
Right.
But when I found out the one guy doesn't smoke it at all and he was just getting and lying and saying he was getting it for his girlfriend when he didn't have one and selling it,
Yeah.
didn't get anything this weekend.
Right. Right.
I
Yeah.
came to
Yeah.
myself,
Okay.
"Oh, aren't you the guy that doesn't
Right.
smoke cannabis?" Right? And he's looked at me. 'Cause the other ones, they talk, right? They tell me, right? And then they told me that he's the one that stole all the cancer patient stuff. It's like, "Buddy, you can't steal from somebody else
No.
and expect me to help you, like, it's not gonna." And I put it right on him. I said, "You stole from JD, you're not getting anything. Sorry." And he looked at
Right.
me and I had, 2 big guys standing behind me. He wasn't gonna challenge me, so
Well, hey, you take advantage, you
you
lose
lose your
your
privilege, right? Like, I
privilege.
mean,
Yeah.
I have to be like
Whatever
that
you
because
want.
if they all start doing that and they all start taking advantage, then there's not gonna be anything for anybody, right? And I
Right.
wanna
Oh yeah, for sure.
that
Yeah.
I just wanna be fair with everybody, so I'm trying to be fair. And if you're not gonna follow a little bit of rules that I've given out, like, please do not
Yeah. You're
don't sell
you're
this stuff, this is not for sale, this is not diversion,
yeah.
this is why they don't wanna follow the rules and they just don't get any.
Correct. Yeah, because getting it from you and then turning around and selling it
I'm
to
not
somebody
trafficking it
else.
Yeah, I'm not trafficking it to you, I'm gifting it.
Yeah. You're
And then
giving
you're
it you're giving it to you. It's going to you as medication.
right, it's right. So you're taking advantage of the fact that I'm trying to get you well, and you
Correct.
don't want me well. You just want to use it for diversion. So sorry.
Yeah.
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 And they're the ones that are so grateful because they do utilize it and they love it, right? They think it's great. And I hear that. And I hear, well, I haven't used, or this is really helping me sleep, or I really
Mhm.
appreciate this. I haven't eaten in 4 days and I wasn't hungry. Now I'm hungry. And some of them wait for Saturday because they don't like they think it's great because on Saturday they count on it. They know it's gonna be there.
Right.
They know that they're gonna sleep Saturday night. They know that they're not gonna be using on Sunday. They can make it stretch. Those tinctures, I told them, "You get 1 a month. You guys gotta make that stuff stretch." Right? Because I can't be bringing out tinctures once a week. I don't get that much donated, right? Like, I only
No. Yeah. Exactly.
yeah, right? And I'm grateful for every little bit that we get. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm very
Right.
grateful. It was double, it'd be even better, but I can only work with what I've got. And that's what
Correct.
I tell them.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if stuff runs out, unfortunately, I won't have anything to give you. So.
Right. And that's where we're getting close to that. I need to start hustling because the last bit of money that the program had, I sent off to get the stuff that's stuck in the mail. And now I had a very,
Now it's stuck in the yeah.
I have a little bit of money, but that's the only money I've
Right.
got. 4 bags of bottles. That's not really going to
Mhm.
cut it. So we need to, start hustling.
Well, Christmas is coming. Hopefully, some can of Santa comes along, and
That's the reason why I'm not expecting a lot of donations right now too, is because Christmas is coming.
yeah,
And people are, thinking of their families and, keeping their money tight because it's Christmas time. And I understand that too. Right.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, if someone's gonna send you a package of gummies, maybe they can't send you the gummies in the mail anymore, but whatever they were gonna pay for those gummies, they could send you that money, and you could go purchase those gummies.
Yeah.
Right? And then that way you avoid the mail end of things.
Well, the nice thing about it too is I have to get out there, but we have a res store that
Right.
wants to meet with me. And
Right.
like I said, I was going to go out today after work, but we got snow. And I'm not driving that road in the snow because I got to go
Well,
across
hopefully it's better.
the bridge and not doing it
Well,
today.
yeah,
So,
well, hopefully tomorrow's a better day. And you'll be
well,
get,
I'm hoping, that I can get out there because then I can purchase from them too. Like if if the matter is, I'm not sure what they're offering. If they're offering anything,
right.
if they're just offering discount prices,
They
I don't
just
know.
want, yeah. You posted that they want to talk to you. They have some questions, and
Right. Yeah.
correct,
So
and they'll make the decisions from there.
right, I don't know whether they're doing anything.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
I still need money. You know what I mean? Like I still need
Yeah,
to get
or
make a
access.
lot of stuff. I can make a lot of stuff myself, right?
There's
And
possibilities, maybe access to a a lower price product to allow you to
right,
do what you're doing, or who
that's
knows? Maybe there's an opportunity that they're willing to help you out with a certain product, or there's all kinds of different things that they could.
I've
Like I
already
know I have a friend of mine who's diagnosed recently with cancer, and the location that she was going to is now supplying her free RSO,
oh,
free
that's
Pico.
that's terrific. That is so
Yeah.
nice. And that's
Yeah.
what like I said, that's what we've been doing with the 2 cancer patients out there too. I've been buying it. I got the one that I have to have 500 milligram gummies for to keep her
Mhm.
a safe supply, right? And
Right. Yeah.
I had to make
Yeah.
gummies.
10
I
milligrams don't
I
do it.
made candy this weekend at 500 milligrams. I used the last of the RSO that I had here,
Yeah.
except for 2 syringes, so I could give 1 each to the cancer patients. I plowed the rest out into that candy so I could make a high milligram candy for her. Because if I don't
Right.
have that for her, she's gonna start using again maybe. And she doesn't wanna do Suboxone, doesn't wanna do methadone, doesn't wanna do the Acadia program. She wants to just go use cannabis. And
Use
so far it's
cannabis. Hey, good. That's good. That's
so
good.
well, there's no side effects coming. Like you go into Suboxone, then you have to wean yourself off that too. So you're weaning yourself off whatever to go on Suboxone.
Yeah. Yeah.
You gotta wean
Yeah.
yourself off of that too, right? So
Right.
you're never really like Alvin's uncle lived on methadone for 30 years. You would have never known, right?
Right.
But he was a
Yeah. And like I have a friend that she used cannabis to get her off the methadone.
exactly
Well,
right.
actually, I shared her story in the group.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So again, like that's the thing. Like there are so many different avenues to do this with, and if you choose not to use the pharma way, which is basically Suboxone or methadone, is using pharmaceuticals to come off, or you can do the natural way, which would be cannabis,
Right.
or whatever else that you think might help. There's like other plant matters too that can help with stress and alleviate nausea and that kind of thing too, right? I think cannabis is probably the most effective. Sleepy time tea and that kind of stuff helps too, but cannabis tea would be better.
Mhm.
20 years ago I didn't have access to all that when I was coming around and getting away from cocaine. We
Right.
had less. I didn't have a lot of knowledge back then.
Sure.
I didn't know about the medical program.
A lot of us didn't.
Yeah, I wasn't involved in any of this. So, but smoking cannabis kept me away, right? And
Yeah.
I attune that to today. That if I didn't smoke cannabis, I'd probably drink like a fish, like I used to, and then end up at the end of when your inhibitions are down, you're blacked out, drunk, you're snorting coke. It was a thing, right? And then as soon as you're blacked out, you're snorting the coke, then you're sober again, going, "Holy fuck, what did I do?" Right? Like, and it's just like a.
Right.
So again, like, why even bother? I just come home, smoke a joint, never think about having a drink or anything
Yeah.
else, right?
Yeah. 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 That's good.
And I hope
Well,
that works for other people.
you've been there. If you've used cannabis to help you deal with that addiction. I know myself. I used cannabis to avoid going into an addiction because I made that choice when I got my Crohn's. Do I want opiate drugs or do I want cannabis? And I went with cannabis.
Right. And the thing was, when I first was diagnosed, they gave me a can of Metamucil and said, "Here you go. This is what you get. Drink this." That's all. That was in 1986 for colitis. That's what I was told to do.
Then
Here's,
immune.
here's some fiber. Have this every day. It should help. I'm not kidding you. I was handed a prescription or a pad of paper that said, "Buy Metamucil." I'm not fucking kidding you. So then when I went
Wow.
to
Things have
Tabor,
really changed since then.
well, never mind. So I'm in Tabor, right? I get my colonoscopy. My GP there prescribes me Asacol, which is a high level of aspirin, right? And codeine, 90 milligrams a day to slow down the diet.
Oh.
They're trying to plug me up, thinking the codeine.
Yeah. That's what the opiates do. They clog you up. Besides all the other problems they do.
It didn't work.
Yeah.
90 milligrams of codeine, I was still shitting through the eye of a needle. It didn't matter. Right? Like,
yeah. Mine was the opposite. I was constipated even without the opioids.
Yeah, see, and that's not been an issue for me. They were trying to slow things down with all that. And that high level of aspirin was supposed to take down the inflammation in my colon. But I've also got lymphatic colitis, or microscopic, I guess they call it, which is like runs microscopically all through your small intestine and your colon. Where it's so ulcerative is where you get the ulcers, and they can actually remove parts, and then you're, with mine,
they sew you back together again.
You cannot do that. I was told
back.
Do that for you, so you never have any problems at all. You can have a colonostomy bag.
Yeah, no thanks. No. All right, time for us to take a break.
Already? Wow.
Yeah. It's 8:31. Well, 9. Depends on where you are. It's 6:31 where you're at. So, all right, Tamara and I will be back after the break. We've got some things I want to discuss and continue that talk on with women of cannabis, and a couple stories here that I think people might find interesting. But other than that, you're watching the Pace Radio Show. We're live here at paceradio.net as well as Facebook and YouTube.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Limestone City Hydroponics is Kingston, Ontario's hydroponics shop. Take your growing to the next level and create the optimal environment with a tent kit, or maximize your yield with an ebb and flow flood table kit. Either way, Limestone City Hydroponics has more sizes and options to fit your needs. Are you looking for the power of the sun that adapts to your budget? Then look no further, as they have professional grow lighting. They have indoor grow systems that are easy and cost effective, with many options to fit your living space and lifestyle. Cultivate your growing potential. We have everything you need to succeed. And if you can't make it to the store, they offer local delivery to the greater Kingston area. Remember, when you're looking for experts to help you grow, then look no further than the locally owned Limestone City Hydroponics, 105 Sunderland Drive in Kingston, Ontario. Call them at 613-548-0420.
Are you looking to get your medical cannabis grow license? Limestone City Hydroponics can help patients through the process of obtaining their license to grow medical cannabis. What's that? You don't have a doctor. If you meet the medical criteria, Limestone City Hydroponics has a nurse practitioner who can assess and provide medical cannabis prescriptions. What are you waiting for? Contact Limestone City Hydroponics at limestonecityhydroponics.ca or call them at 613-548-0420.
What do you find at paceradio.net? People advocating cannabis education.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
Are you looking for non-stop, continuous cannabis and psychedelic programming? If you are, then turn your browsers to 420radio.ca or paceradio.net, where you will find the 420 Pace re-rolled Saturday. Everything gets started at 8 a.m. Eastern Saturday morning.
Cannabis edibles are an effective way to manage pain and other ailments, especially when you deal with your trusted partner, Legacy 420, in Tyendinaga Mohawk territory. You see, we lab test every product on site to ensure proper dosage every time, which is critical when consuming cannabis edibles. All Legacy 420 edibles are made by our classically trained baker and chocolatier, and we also have super tasty vegan options.
Our baker has been in the industry for 25 years. She's also a chocolatier. Everything from savory to sweet, your chocolate bars, brownies, butter tarts, you name it, we make it.
Talk to our knowledgeable Cannatex about our incredible variety available. Give your trusted partners a call. Legacy 420 out on your road.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Hey, we're back. We're live. How you doing? How you been?
Rolling.
Rolling. Oh, okay. All right. I got my vape pen.
I haven't had smoked a joint since I got home from work.
Oh,
I was just fighting with Talus.
Oh, well, my vape cartridge battery died, so I had to bring it back up. All righty. Here we go. Last week we talked about the women in cannabis and their use and stuff. And this is one article is a bit of an extension of that. They say that women aged 25 to 45 are the fastest growing segment of cannabis users. And they say that they seek the solutions for stress relief, chronic pain management, mental health support, issues that significantly impact their quality of life. And they say that as more women become more informed of the benefits, they are getting involved in cannabis.
Well, I told you why I smoke it, so I don't kill people. Oh yes,
on the list.
for relax.
I think that is on the list.
Yeah. Right, so you don't kill people. No, like seriously, after you people all day and if you work at a job where you're dealing with people all day, you need to come home to something.
Oh, I have a close friend. I had a close friend that ran a small store, like yourself, and she got tired of dealing directly with the public.
Oh yeah. And I was a hairdresser, right?
She doesn't work there anymore.
After a year and a half, well, I got into retail, I guess, almost 2 years ago now.
Right.
At Top Crop or at the garden center there. So yeah, I'm about done. After 2 years of it, I'm getting close.
Okay, so they say the number one reason is pain relief. For conditions like endometriosis.
Endometriosis.
There you go. Fibro and arthritis.
I will say maybe osteo, my RA. It diverts it to. But I'm telling you, when you're in a flare and you feel like you got a broken bone, and that's pain. Like, are you on a rotator or there's nothing? Like sometimes not even the morphine helps. Like I'm not kidding you.
Well, there you go. Yeah. Like even though I used it for my pain with my Crohn's disease, it doesn't kill it, eliminate the pain. It dulls the pain, but there are pains that it doesn't specifically help with as well. So
I know that it'll help. Like when I'm like with my colitis too, I'd find that I smoked first thing in the morning, right? It would kind of like dull down the intenseness, right? And then it would kind of go away. And as a day, you kind of forget about the pain because you're busy doing things and smoking and doing whatever, right? But at night too, before bed, I'm smoking like 4 or 5 joints because I don't sleep very good, and I find that the legal cannabis I'm smoking ain't fucking helping me much, to be honest.
We're gonna get into that, into the sleep end of things. Because number 2 on this list,
these joints, there's no resin on this. Like back when I was growing cannabis, if this was my joint that I had grown myself, this would be black. This is legal cannabis, and there's no resin. What does that tell you?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I roll doobies and they get dots on them.
I know, right? Like that's just like unfair.
Polka
dots.
That's not
unfair. It's just I don't smoke any. I don't grow my own right now, so I'm
right.
But that's the reason why lots of patients do grow their own, because even you get dignified access. That's not fucking dignified access. That's garbage.
Okay. Now, here's another reason. Number 2. Anxiety. This might cover the I want to kill somebody the things. Anxiety, social pressures, responsibilities. They say that it creates anxiety. What else? They go. Okay, number 3 is
children.
They talked about 79% of participants experience reduced anxiety levels with CBD oil.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. Now, number three, third reason why is improved sleep quality.
I told you back in the day, 4 puffs. Oh, this stuff? No.
No, eh?
No.
No, I see. They say that a study from University of Colorado indicated that participants who used cannabis before bedtime reported better sleep quality compared to those who did not.
Yeah. I will say yes. That's one of the main reasons why I use it to eat because I don't eat either. Like
Right. Yeah, oh yeah. Sometimes it has created problems for me for overeating.
right, and it's still like I said, the stuff I'm getting right now ain't doing shit from the stores. Like it's not like it, but again, it's not medicinal either, right? And they don't claim that it is. They claim that it's recreational and it's not the high THC and the medicine that we need. So maybe that's why it's not working for me because it's not medical.
Okay, number 4, menstrual health support. They say that cannabis can help with muscle relaxing properties of cannabis, can alleviate cramps and other symptoms.
Yep. Yeah. Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. But again, doesn't totally, right? Diverts more.
Right. Yeah. Dulls it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. The appeal of natural remedies, such as there's a shift towards holistic health approaches, which is true. Yeah.
Yeah. I think more people are wanting to get away from pharma because they've heard, well, it's the side effects.
Mm-hmm.
There's always like, nausea, diarrhea, but anything you take pharmaceutically, right, always has some adverse side effects. I don't like hearing suicide, shorter life expectancy. Like these things are some of the stuff that you hear with even like the stuff that we have to take, right? Like the methotrexate, all that stuff. And these are supposed to be life quality changing drugs, but are they when you think about it? So cannabis, even like I said, for addiction too, like there's no side effects, right? You're not gonna get hooked on cannabis and then never, and have side effects where you're gonna, hurt.
Right. Yeah. It'd be much easier to walk away from cannabis than it will from the other substances.
Absolutely, like way easier. Yeah. But again, like I said, so many people are like I don't say brainwashed, but we're conditioned, I guess. We're conditioned to think the first thing to do is run to the pharmacy, right? We're conditioned to do that, right? Run for Tylenol.
People just That's why I'm glad that I had this friend to call,
right?
And back 20 some odd years ago that hey, I've got Crohn's disease. Is there any benefit for cannabis? Because I don't want I don't want to do the opiate end of things.
How hard is it back then? How hard it was
to talk real hard,
right? To even have even consider it. Now it's a little more. Now it's way easier to talk to a doctor because of the legalization.
Yeah.
20 years ago, we never thought we'd see legalization to begin with. Yes, we had a medical program, but we also had and still do have the College of Physicians actively blocking, doctors.
They're not happy with it.
They're still not there. Like the doctors are still not there yet. Like they're trying to find harms. All these studies they're doing are trying to find harms in driving, impairment, addiction, all these things, all these studies that are being done. It's not to find benefits for cannabis. It's all to find harms.
It's been like that since day one, hasn't it?
Safety, right? Public health and safety. But you do see them doing studies on Advil and Tylenol to find the harms all the time? No.
No. Well, as they say, some people say cannabis is the most studied plant. Alrighty, on to this other little story here about women in cannabis. I don't know if you know about this, but women make up 61% of cannabis home growers.
I believe that.
Wow.
Well, because in hindsight, it's kind of a natural gardening thing that we have, but
it's a gardening thing, correct? Yeah.
But men garden too. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, there's lots of men that really enjoy gardening too. They do the yard work. They do all the gardening. So I'm not shocked. I thought it'd be more like a 50-50 kind of thing.
Yep.
But
This was a survey by the looks of it on home growing. And they say that other things that they found in the survey was 50% of respondents agree that home growing learning to cultivate gives them a sense of self-sufficiency and control. And 35% of respondents said that they cultivated home to dictate the strain selections and quality of their cannabis. And here you're sitting here complaining, I wish I grew my own again. Then you get something that's better. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Well, if those master growers are doing their jobs, good for them. But then it's hitting the eradication on the way out the door. So you can grow the nice and beautiful, like it looks good, looks great. But if you're eradicating it as it's going out the door, you're killing everything on it.
I know when I first had my gardens and I was able to get some successful ones off, I felt that it was something, I accomplished something that was important to me because I was looking after my own health. But from being so sick to the point of, being bedridden and not knowing whether I'd be able to do anything again.
Right.
Being able to grow cannabis and look after it and grow my own medicine was something that I looked at, something that was, double thumbs up. Like,
Too, right? It gave you something to get out of bed for.
Confidence. Yeah, exactly. Because I can, there's times where you can also struggle while you're growing. This can be very
frustrating.
Very frustrating. And, when you have medical conditions that can suffer from that because of the stress and other things that go along with growing. It's just not as simple as throwing a seed in the ground and throwing some water on it, right?
No, I wish it was. But again,
Yeah.
most people have pretty good luck. But again, your first couple crops, it's getting used to growing, curing. Because curing is a whole different thing. You can grow the most beautiful.
Yeah.
If you don't cure it properly, you ain't gonna get a good product. Right?
They say, they say that 41% of the home growers view growing cannabis as stress relieving activity that transforms it from a hobby into a form of self-care.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's absolutely true, because the fact of the matter is that you have to be in control no matter what, right? So
now, according to 44% of home growers, the biggest misconception is that the perception difficulty in growing cannabis. Hey, it happens. It doesn't all just grow, trouble free. I read, in the groups on Facebook and stuff. There's people who have a lot of problems with growing cannabis.
Yep.
And it can be stressful if things don't go right.
Well, yeah.
Your medicine, and for it to go bad because of some gardening practices that you learn. Some people just learn by trial and error. Like, that's all you do.
Well, a lot of times too, you find that I did anyways when I was trying to teach people. They always had, and I never said there's no wrong way of doing it. Everybody does things differently, right?
Right.
But a lot of times, and I'm just gonna say it, if I'm a girl, and men don't like to listen to women, and I'm trying to tell them what they're doing, and they basically did their own thing, and then when it all went bad, then I just kind of sat back and went, I warned you, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, don't let your temps get away, people.
So the next thing, away from those stories, I mentioned taxes to you earlier. Cannabis taxes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
I'm gonna come at you two different ways on this. Okay.
All right. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, the Canadian Revenue Agency has written off nearly $5 million worth of excise tax that is uncollectible.
From the
Five
LPs, probably. Yeah.
companies, I would say companies that have gone under, eh?
And of course they're going to have, that's something that we knew was going to happen because we knew that they over licensed, right? Like they over licensed. Yeah. So you
They
know
say
what? In
that
their face, I don't care.
all the companies, all of them, it says all the companies are from Ontario.
No, really.
Yeah. 12 companies. 11 of them show a balance of debt that remains after compromise settlement pursuant to applicable authority, it says here, whatever that is. Okay.
So what
The
about all
largest amount of a single company's uncollected excise tax debt is $1.9 million, while the smallest is 136. 7 show a debt incurred in 2024, 3 from 2023, and 1 from 2022.
Okay, so what taxes weren't they paying? Because that would
Excise tax. They weren't paying the excise tax.
Why are they paying excise tax?
They pay the excise tax.
Then why are we paying excise tax?
Because they're not going to suck that up themselves. We pay it.
Well, then why do the government then, right?
They have to pay that 1%, that 1%. How is it? It's $1 on each gram or 1 or 10% of the value. There might be something in here that explains it to us, but these are unpaid excise tax. Now, according to the Insolvency Insiders, 47 cannabis-related businesses in Canada have filed for creditor protection since 2019.
Wow.
Yeah.
So they get to run away with all the money they made off the stocks.
Yeah. Okay. Well, here you go. As of January 31st, 2024, the federal government says it has collected $3.4 billion in federal excise tax, with nearly $2.7 billion going back to the provinces and territories.
So the excise tax is the GST and the PST that we all pay on that stuff.
No, it's excise tax. Here you go. Here it is. I'll explain it to you. Excise tax for dried cannabis flowers is effectively $1 per gram, and 75% of this goes back to the provinces, as well as an ad valorem rate of 2.5%. Yeah, okay. It's not just HST and GST. This is yeah.
So all that money, okay, and then that 75%, they're supposed to filter that back down to the municipality.
Yeah.
Well, the municipalities are supposed to be getting $11.5 million a year from the provincial government.
Yeah, it's supposed, and it doesn't come that way. Well, look, there's even numbers here. Breakdown of taxes for the year.
I know the stores send the PST directly to the province.
Mm-hmm.
But they charge at the stores. The GST goes directly to the feds. Right?
Yeah.
So 7% plus BC charges another 20% on every vape that they sell. So the province is getting 27% on a vape.
Yeah. I know, eh? Isn't that crazy?
Where's money? Where's the fucking money?
Where's the money? Yeah, I know. You keep saying that. Where's the money?
Well,
let's find out. Let's find out. I knew that was going to come up. Where's the money? So I just happened to find an article. It's a US-based article that tells you. It says that cities where they get the money. Okay, this is for cities. Okay, not provinces, but they mostly put cannabis tax revenue towards the police and general funds.
We have RCMP. That's bullshit.
I would say cities or province, it's the same spot where the money's going. What do you think?
That's bullshit. And they say community safety units. We don't need community safety units. That needs to be changed. Like I said, I'm going to, I'm going to the next city council meeting. I'm going to put it right on them. Where the fuck's the money? And don't tell me don't tell me that you're giving it to the RCMP, because you guys just told us that we couldn't afford 11 new members because we couldn't afford them. We were the RCMP is begging for 11 new members for our town because of the population size, and our city council just told them, sorry, we don't have any money for that. Where the
Where's the
fuck's
cannabis sales? Yeah.
Trust me, I'm
Yeah.
going.
Now they say here. Where did it go? Where did it go? Yeah, bulk of tax revenue from legal cannabis sales goes towards law enforcement and municipalities' general funds, with relatively few cities and towns allocating cannabis generated funds to support education or health programs.
No, they're not doing. Where's the fucking money?
Yeah.
And
Is
like I
this
said,
what they said they would use the money for? Health programs and
it's supposed to be used for addiction services.
yeah.
That's what they decided to do with it. When we were talking, we wanted it to go to education, healthcare, and building parks, and like doing things that are good things, like paying for a new hospital,
Yeah.
paying for a new school. Not fucking and we do need law enforcement, but not for cannabis offenses. So what
No.
law enforcement are they looking at? Like, you're not. What are you chasing people down for smoking a joint? No, you're not.
No, they're not. They're not. No, they're not chasing joint smokers. Now they said they reviewed 3 states where existing adult use cannabis programs, which are Michigan, New Mexico, and Oregon, as well as Ohio, where they started in August. They say that tax revenue has not yet been allocated to local governments. They reached out to 501 localities across 4 states and heard back from a third of them. So if they reviewed, they haven't received any money. So they're probably screaming too. Where's the money?
But I know in Denver, when they first legalized cannabis, there was towns and stuff that weren't allocated anything, and then all of a sudden there was these other towns that were getting new schools and new roads and parks, and these other towns are going, oh, how come they're getting funds that we're not getting? And the state said, because you didn't opt into cannabis, and they did, and the tax money that municipality was, they were doing great things with it. I think it was Denver or Colorado City that was actually building parks and schools with the cannabis taxation revenue.
Yeah.
That's what it should be used for, to go back to the people, not to be.
Well, now
okay.
There has been some. They say here that there has been some money that has been put into funding parks and recreation, but I bet you that money limits or those levels are very low compared to
what
law
they're
enforcement. Yeah.
And like I said, where's the money? $11.5 million is what the municipalities in every city are supposed to be going to the cities, right, from the provinces. After the feds don't get it. Like, the feds aren't getting the whole thing and then having to give it back to them. Okay, the feds keep the 25%. The 75% goes to the province. The province is supposed to send that back to the municipalities that are opted in on cannabis stores.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we have 8 of them. Like, come on, where's the money?
They say that 1% of it goes to support social equity licensees within the cannabis industry. Only 1%. Only 1% goes to K-12 education, or 1 to 2%. Sorry, 1 to 2%. So
again,
but yet 27 to 30% goes to law enforcement, and 26 to 29% goes to general funds. That's slush fund. That's to help buy orange juice at lunchtime for the
slush fund.
meeting.
You know what? If it was going into the city general coffers and it was actually going to our roads and going to give, but if it's going to give the mayor a raise, nah. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I just think it's bullshit. Like, where's the money? That's all. Like, you show me where you got your money and you show me where it went, and I'll be good with that.
But yeah, you're gonna have to go to a meeting and ask them what's going on. I look for it'd be interesting to hear what they have to say.
Well, I'm gonna start with emailing.
Say, hey, thanks for inquiring about that, because we haven't received any money yet from the province.
Right?
Maybe that's what they'll say.
If that's the case, then why haven't you? It's the same thing with the high school. They say it's the education minister. It's got to come down from the province. If our city council is lobbying the province to get that done, nothing's ever going to get done. The same in Ontario. If your cities aren't lobbying the province to get things done, it's never going to happen then. You have to be proactive. You can't just sit there and think, oh, they're automatically just, send his little fairy wand over there. He's already, made a deal with Elon Musk, for God's sakes. Like, who knows what he's going to do next?
Oh, I see it's break time.
Well, hopefully Starleaf will make it so that you get cheaper power or something that so more people can grow cannabis out there.
Yes, yeah, I know. It'd be nice. It'd be nice. It'd be nice.
Your
That's for
power is
sure.
outrageous
Right.
up there too, isn't it? It's outrageous.
Yeah, our power is too. I can remember the days we used to pay 4.3 cents per kilowatt hour. Now
That's what
it's like the lowest is like 15 cents per kilowatt hour now.
my
Something
my
like
gas
that.
is outrageous, but my electricity is dirt cheap out here. Like dirt cheap.
Oh no, not here. No. We have
Ooh.
our peak hours cost, and then we have our evening hour cost where it's
I think the
reduced
max
peak.
our peak hours is 14 cents a kilowatt at max peak
Yeah,
hours.
no hours. All right, time for us to take a commercial break. We'll continue this discussion when we get back. You're watching the Pace Radio Show. We're live here at paceradio.net as well as at YouTube and Facebook.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Legacy 420 have an awesome array of cannabis-infused beverages, from pop to Nature's Nectar's teas, all in amazing flavors. What a selection! We even have a delicious mango-infused juice, and let me tell you, it's delicious.
Everything is infused in-house, so we buy our syrup from, the same place where everybody else buys their syrup for their pop, and the infusion is done in the lab. It's all canned here, labeled here, produced 100% on Tyndonega.
We have two lines of drinks. One's called our Nature's Nectar. That was our original line that we came out with. And then we also have a line under the Red E brand. We have them in 10 milligrams, 30 milligram, and 60 milligram cans.
What a great selection for a get-together with friends or after a long day. Remember, if you want to wet your whistle with on-site lab-tested products, come see your trusted partner. Legacy 420 out on your road.
Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. Open Monday to Friday from 10 till 7 p.m. or by chance. Check out our flags, our t-shirts, plus our hats, and look of that supply of rolling papers, plus much more. We've got bongs and your favorite herbal vaporizers. Look at all the incense we have, as well as for those who collect knives, check out these knives in our collection. And while you're here, stop in to see Shay at the piercing room, where you can get poked by Shay. Daily deals, check them out. Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford, Ontario. Limestone City Hydroponics is Kingston, Ontario's hydroponics shop. Take your growing to the next level and create the optimal environment with a tent kit, or maximize your yield with an ebb and flow flood table kit. Either way, Limestone City Hydroponics has more sizes and options to fit your needs. Are you looking for the power of the sun that adapts to your budget? Then look no further, as they have professional grow lighting. They have indoor grow systems that are easy and cost effective, with many options to fit your living space and lifestyle. Cultivate your growing potential. We have everything you need to succeed. And if you can't make it to the store, they offer local delivery to the greater Kingston area. Remember, when you're looking for experts to help you grow, then look no further than the locally owned Limestone City Hydroponics, 105 Sunderland Drive in Kingston, Ontario. Call them at 613-548-0420. Are you looking for non-stop, continuous cannabis and psychedelic programming? If you are, then turn your browsers to 420radio.ca or paceradio.net, where you will find the 420 Pace re-rolled Saturday. Everything gets started at 8 a.m. Eastern Saturday morning.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
And you're watching the Pace Radio Show. And don't forget, if you miss this episode, you can always catch it at the paceradio.net website or at paceradioshow.com. Actually, that's a website address. I haven't said that in a long time. Something I meant to talk about earlier that I forgot to bring up. and that is the fact that our sponsor, Legacy 420, is for sale.
I was just gonna ask you that. Actually, you get it out of my head because I had seen that somewhere, and then I was gonna ask you about that, like
Yeah,
how
yeah. Tim
yeah,
posted it. Tim
yeah,
posted it.
was that?
He posted it and he shared it to the Pace group. And yeah, he's turning 65 in a few months, and it's time to retire.
Good for him. I'm happy
Yeah,
for him. He's had it,
yeah.
and Legacy 420 is an amazing place, right? And
Oh,
he's done such an amazing job with all the testing in the lab. His vision has been taken to the fullest, and he should be
yeah.
super proud of himself and all the people that he's got
It's
working for him. Like, it's
yeah.
amazing.
It's a 10,000 square foot facility, complete with retail store, which is actually 2 floors. Like it's one floor, but like the height of the ceiling inside is 2 floors up. So say somebody ever wanted to expand the store, you could actually create a second level if you needed to, right? And then there's all the office spaces. There's the lab, as you mentioned. There's a big lab in there. There's the kitchen where the baked goods and everything are done. There's the area where all the concentrates are made. There's a processing spot for their products, for doing packaging and all that. There's where they make all their own beverages. Those lines, those beverage lines and everything. The warehousing that's there, all the security. It is built to Health Canada's regulations when it comes to all this type of stuff. Like even the lab equipment as well. Um, so it's all fenced, all that stuff. There's room for growing, if you want to do a greenhouse type thing. And as far as expansion, if you need to make a bigger building,
Now,
there's
would it
room.
have somebody though that can like? Would you have to be First Nations because it's on the reserve, right?
Well, yeah, I'm yeah, that would probably be up to however things are set up in Tanaganaga as far as businesses way they run things. Because I know like they're at Roseneath, um, I don't know what it's like now, but I know at one point, yeah, you had to be First Nation.
Well, you'd think you'd have to live and play on that land. It would have to be,
Correct.
and in
Correct.
order for you to be able to run it, you should have to be First
Yes.
Nations.
So yeah, I'm not sure what the rules are. Whether there's bylaws, whatever, however you want to call it, on Taganaga when it comes to the businesses there. I don't know. So
I don't know. Like I said,
yeah,
that's
but anybody's looking for
those are
up and
questions.
it's already there. It's already well established. I know that his Legacy 420's products were in many stores right across the country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
So
hoping that they can sell
it
it.
wasn't.
That's decent
Yeah.
takes so they can
'Cause-
continue on, right?
Yeah, they do nation to nation business.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, yeah. So they'll sell to other stores across the country. So it's well established, and anybody who buys out of obviously got a well established business, but they also there's a lot of history behind Legacy 420 because if I look at it as Tim and the guys were the ones who got things rolling when it comes to the First Nations with cannabis and all these stores opening up.
Yeah.
Because Project Long Arm, which was a big cannabis police enforcement agency that was going on here in Ontario. They visited him more than once, and he stood his ground and gave them the information on why he was right and what he was saying, and providing all the information to the police. And then they came back and said, all right.
It's
Not what you can do, right?
sovereign land. It is.
So yeah,
It's
yeah, and things just exploded from there.
well, things
The word got out.
that's a
Like,
downside for BC being unceded because there's no treaty agreements, so the province could do whatever they wanted. But it
yeah, there is right now. Ontario is bringing in, and I'll be reporting on it tomorrow on the news, on Pace News. That there is a law coming out in the province to go after advertisers of illegal businesses. And there is one reserve that is concerned that the law will be targeted towards First Nations. And
they're going to have
within the article, it says that that's not what the law, according to the minister who's writing the law or proposing the law. He says that's not the intention of the law to go at the First Nations. Because I'm thinking, like, first thing I thought, oh, BC, New Brunswick, right, going after the First Nations, it's a province. And I was thinking, well, maybe that's what they're going to do here. But according to the minister, that's not what it's about. It's more about the to go after. They say, anyways, the online retailers is what it's supposed to be for. Mail order marijuana, right, Mom?
The legislation can't touch the server, right? So even if you're
Yeah.
on GoDaddy using that as an online business, they have to go after the provider and not you personally, right?
Yeah.
Depends on whether I don't know how they're going to get around
Yeah,
that.
there's different laws on what they're allowed to give out and information that they don't, and so on and so forth. So.
Yeah, I don't know how that. I mean, they've already cracked down on advertising as it is. Like, none of the magazines are around up here because we couldn't advertise anything, right? Because the black market, you don't advertise. But even the vaporizers and all that kind of stuff, there was no cannabis advertising. So even the LPs couldn't advertise and say Skunk Magazine. Hence why Skunk Magazine went to California, and 12 High Chicks went poof. We're gone, right?
Yeah, the other magazines as well.
Right.
Well, this one didn't go because it wasn't allowed to advertise. It was gone well before legalization.
Yeah, but no, we like TY, or not TY, but 12 High Chicks shut down. And Dennis actually moved it down to Washington because we couldn't advertise in Canada. And it was like a huge start.
Right.
And there was no way why that Asia was going to take on that.
But now I'm talking about down in the States. They are in the works of doing some rescheduling of cannabis, going from 1 to 3. The date got moved, and now I'm hearing that the date might be moved again.
Is this in one state?
No, this is for the federal rescheduling of cannabis. Biden and Harris started it. It won't be finished before the Trump administration comes in, because they've
executive orders it.
There's supposed to be a meeting that's scheduled for, I believe it's December the 2nd, but it looks like that's going to might be canceled because there's a problem with all the witnesses and stuff like that that were on the list. That it was just brutal. There wasn't really much in the way of any cannabis advocacy groups, maybe like 2 or 3, if that. And like Smart was more people like Smart, which is Sabbath there with his anti-cannabis thing.
I don't think anybody was really too happy about the rescheduling. I think maybe that's why.
No, well, yeah, exactly. So I don't know. Sunday here on the Pace Radio Network, we've run broadcasts from the Veterans Action Council. Right now, it's not running because I've caught up to them, and I'm allowing them to get some more videos created, and then I'll start running it some more. But the Veteran Action Council, they're actually in the news over this rescheduling, and because they weren't on that list or anything, and the lack of real good representation was missing on it. So they've put, they wrote the people and said, "Hey, what the hell's going on? We want to be involved in this, right?"
Right.
And they said, just trying to figure if it has what it has to review. Now they feel that they say that while the DEA devised a reasonable, inclusive stakeholder assortment of witnesses, VACSAD it still failed to fulfill its mandate to allow testimony from interested parties. And the veterans organization said that's evidenced by the fact that Mulrooney, whoever he is, has since delayed the formal hearings proceedings until early 2025. It's been moved again from early. Because the DEA provided insignificant information about their selected witnesses' position on rescheduling or why they should be considered interested parties. Now, the VAC's position, okay, is that cannabis should be reclassified as a Schedule 5 substance, not 3, 5, or descheduled altogether. And it says that moving it to a Schedule 3 is clearly a step forward, but it's inadequate. It's inadequate to address veterans' needs and continues to place unnecessary barriers to cannabis access within Veteran Affairs healthcare.
Well, that too. Never mind anybody else.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. They're always involved. They're always involved in stuff when it comes to the cannabis and things. They speak at the UN. They go around to the different states, talk about cannabis.
Well, it's so effective for PTSD because it really is.
Well, I just happen to have a story right here. The headline says FDA approves long-awaited clinical trial of smoked marijuana to treat PTSD in veterans.
Yay!
There you go.
But you know what? It's been the veterans advocating for themselves about this.
Yeah, and that's what these guys do. They're always out there advocating for stuff.
And the thing is, like, veterans have had to advocate for themselves a lot, right?
Yeah.
Because the government seems to care about them a lot.
Yeah, the initial hearing will take place on December the 2nd, but no testimony or evidence will be taken at the time. So what are they going to do? Figure out witnesses, maybe.
Maybe the judge will just say, "Hey, we're just going to make this."
Yeah, let's just make it legal. You guys can't figure it out. We're just going to throw the law out completely.
Yeah, I could definitely do that. Or like I said, maybe Biden will go like I have a thing in my little dream that Biden goes out in a big blaze of go fuck you, and he legalizes cannabis and he lets out all the cannabis people, and he does tells Trump that there's all kinds of dreams I have, but that's one of them.
Yeah. Well, I don't think. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Smoking into things. Okay. It's being funded with tax revenue from legal cannabis sales in Michigan.
There you go.
Yeah. MAPS. That's Multidisciplinary Association for Psychedelic Studies. Announced this week that the U.S. Food, the FDA, granted approval for phase 2 research that they described as a press release as a randomized placebo-controlled study of 320 veterans suffering from moderate to severe PTSD who had previously used cannabis.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, the study is designed to investigate the inhalation of high THC dried cannabis flower versus placebo cannabis, with the daily dose of being self-titrated by participants. What's placebo cannabis?
I was going to ask you that. What is that?
Would that be the stuff that you used to see in High Times magazine years ago, where you could buy an ounce for like $10? Or would it be CBD? I don't know.
Maybe it's grass.
What would it be? What would placebo cannabis? It's smoked.
I don't know.
How do you? It's not as if it's a pill.
I don't know. Like, what do you? Basil? I don't know. I don't know what a placebo cannabis would be.
Okay. Okay. Let's see.
I don't know if I smoke placebo cannabis, it would make me mad, and then my PTSD would probably go through the roof, and probably want to.
Yeah, they want to study the real world use of inhaled cannabis to understand its potential benefits and risks in treating PTSD. It says it's been in the making for years. And it took 3 years of negotiations with the FDA.
How many people have seen that video of that man with Parkinson's shaking and shaking. And then he sits down, smokes a joint, and then he's sitting still. Don't tell me that these doctors and researchers and all these politicians have not. Have I seen that video? So have they.
Oh, and it's right in front of you. You watch him improve his life right there. Oh yeah.
How old is that video? 20 years old? Give or take? Like, come on. There is so much evidence. I don't know how much more evidence they really need. A placebo? What the fuck is that? They're going to test 300 people to see what they already know that we've been telling them for the last 50 fucking years?
Oh yeah.
How many more tests do they need? That's my thing. How many more tests do we need? How much more research do they want?
I see Sue Sicily. She's involved in this study. She's a researcher and a psychiatrist from down in the U.S. She actually, she got fired or someplace from a place because of her studies, because she was finding benefits.
The fact that
she says the trial will help shed light on the scientific legitimacy of using smoked cannabis to treat PTSD.
Right. Pretty sure she put a study out that debunked their theory on cannabis, young minds, and schizophrenia. I have to look that up. But yeah, propaganda.
Yeah, she says in her own practice, veteran patients have shared how smoking cannabis helped them manage their PDS system. So like she is seeing that in her practice, right? So now we can do an actual study of it, and it's been approved. Yeah. They say it would generate data that doctors like herself can use to develop treatment plans to help people manage their PTSD symptoms.
Which is rage. Foremost, usually rage, depression, anxiety, all that kind of stuff. But rage is the #1 contributor, which then never mind the flashbacks and all that shit. That I asked. But rage is the first reaction to PTSD. Rage. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, I know the noise. All of a sudden there was a noise I was listening to. All of a sudden disappeared.
Shower.
No, it was the fan in the bathroom. What got turned off?
There's a ghost in the house. Just Gail. Hi, Gail.
Yeah, they say that Michigan, they announced $13 million in funding for research back in 2021, part of a $20 million grant in total. So they're spending some money on us, on treatment, or studies here.
Yeah,
which is good.
Yeah, that is good. Like I said, I'm all down for the studies, but it's just the fact of the matter is, how many more studies are they going to do?
All right, well, here's one. Well, no, this is a poll. Sorry, this is a poll. I'm just going to read the headline here. Driving while distracted by cell phones is a bigger problem than cannabis-impaired driving.
No shit.
According to what Americans say in a poll.
No shit.
Everybody has a phone.
Well, 90%. I've always had this thing with distracted driving because, okay, I'm not one driving. That's one thing. But you got kids in your backseat. That's more distracting than your goddamn phone.
Oh, kids in the back seat. Oh, I think they've been distracted for drivers since the car.
Hey, let's not put a law in.
Was made, yeah. My mom sat in the back seat of the rumble seat in the old Model T.
Yeah, to make sure the kids sat still. My mom did too.
No, they had to put the pig in the front seat when they took it to market.
That too.
Well,
no,
the thing too is that my mom, there was too many kids in their family to put them all in one vehicle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no,
it was farm life, right? You raised and fed and your farm hands through your own children, really.
Well, we didn't live on
the
a
ones
farm.
who worked the farm.
Yeah, no, I didn't do that. But my mom still sat in the back seat. We had no seatbelts. We had no car
Oh
seats.
no, we didn't have any seatbelts either.
Like,
We didn't have to put our kids in the seat. We didn't have to put our kids in the seat.
Yeah.
Car seats. What's that? Yeah, I know, eh?
Now, if you're like, I'm 4'9.5". If I was 4'8", I'd have to still have a booster seat to drive. In Ontario, yeah. So like the size of you, but again, like they've made so many ridiculous regulations.
What
Like,
if they put blocks on your pedals?
I had to use a pillow in some of my cars. The only reason why I don't have to use a pillow in this car is because the seat goes up and down. Same with my Charger. But any car before that, even my Mustang, my first car, I had to have a pillow. Any truck I've driven, I had to have a pillow. It's just a standard thing. I have to have a pillow in my car.
Yeah. You don't have a long enough torso to reach the.
No, I'm pretty tiny. But yeah, you should have seen me trying to drive a grain truck. I was standing up. From the question.
So yeah, let's see. It says here. They say 96% of respondents said they consider driving while distracted by cell phones a problematic issue in the community. 94% speeding was a problem. 93% aggressive driving.
But again, we haven't seen the numbers go statistically high for people getting caught for impaired driving with leading to cannabis. There's an odd one here or there. Like I said, I don't see, no headlines going, the sky is falling because everybody's driving around high. You know what I mean? Like, because they're not. And if you are, you're not getting caught because you're not driving like an asshole. Usually you slow down a bit, you're a little more cautious. Anytime, like, because you like, depending on, like, not lately because, the weed's shitty, but if you got good weed, and you're driving, you slow, slowing down a little bit paranoid that somebody is there watching me because I'm stoned. Like, you're not driving fast, that's for sure.
Well, 96%, like I said, have problem with the cell phones. It says here, 37% believe cannabis is a major problem, and only 45% say a minor problem. But cell phones. I can see that. They're right there, right? Easy and handy to have. Everybody has one.
Well, the first thing, not for myself personally, the first thing I don't do is pick up my fucking cell phone in the morning. But a lot of people, the first thing they do, like, I don't even have my cell phone set as an alarm. Like, when it's off and I'm home, it's on relax. It doesn't ring. And my ringer is my Alexa. I don't want to look at this thing first thing in the fucking morning. Like, I don't. Well, I just did a survey. And on this survey that I just read, 98% of people pick their fucking cell phone up the first thing they do before they even get out of bed in the morning is they're checking their phone. And I'm like, because it was in a survey for phone addiction.
What are they checking their phone for?
That I don't know. Who knows? Messages? I don't know. That's the first thing some people do is check their fucking phone in the morning. I don't want to see the fucking thing.
Now, okay, think back. Did you ever have an answering machine?
Yeah, and it was the last thing. I hate answering machines. I hate voicemail. I would never check it. I'd ignore it.
Well,
I don't even check my messages on my phone now.
I would say probably most people, when they came home, they would look to see if the light was flashing on the.
But not the first thing when they got out of bed in the morning. This was when you got out of bed in the morning.
Well, maybe they got a phone call overnight.
Maybe. They're checking for porn. Who knows?
Maybe they're checking to see what the weather's like, so they know how to get dressed.
They could be doing that too.
Yeah.
But it's becoming an addiction, and that's what the survey was about: is how addicted people are to their phones.
Yeah. Like before, when you think of the kids, hey, we have to put laws for the kids and cell phones in schools, but we never. You and I, when we grew up, our phones couldn't travel much more than 3 feet.
That guy depends on the cord.
Yeah, like when the ones that were attached to the wall, 3 feet.
Have a long cord. She always made us like sit. No, I was never allowed a phone.
Yeah. Some, I guess, we're only a foot long.
And then we go to my grandma's and she had a party line.
Yeah. There was that too. I remember that. All righty. Well, I see we're at the bottom of the hour. We are done for the night.
Woo!
We talked a bunch of different topics.
Oh, it goes by so fast.
I know. Yeah, it does. All right. Anything else you want to think of offhand?
No, send money.
Send money.
Send money for the cranberry substitute.
Yeah, and for people who would like to send you gummies, because people like gummies, but they can't due to the mail strike. then send the money so that Tamara can go buy the gummies locally.
Right.
Right. So then that way the gummies are still there.
Like I said, if my stuff prior to wasn't still tied up in the mail, I
Yeah.
could just make candy, but I can't even do that because all my makings are in the mail.
Yeah.
And like I said, we spent the last little bit of money that I did have. And like I said, I've got a small little, one donation so far and 2 bags of bottles. And unfortunately, that's just, well, it might cut a
Right.
little, but for the amount of people that we're servicing right now, I've worked it out that we need probably $1,500 a month, cash wise, or so.
Wow. Yeah.
Because I mean, I'm not always going to get the donations and gifting of cannabis.
No.
You know what I mean? So in order
Right.
to stay sustainable, I have to have at least a half a pound of cannabis a month, minimally, and that's what I've been working with. I still have a little bit of that left, plus my gifts, right? So,
Yeah.
but I mean, that's 6 weeks worth, right? So I'm
Right.
down to like what I was gifted from my anonymous friend, and then I've got like probably maybe an ounce left of the half pound that I bought.
Right.
So then we're going to be needing cannabis too, right? So
Yeah.
overall, I'm going to have to be on the hustle because I was generously donated a couple huge chunks of money to begin with, right?
Right. Oh, yeah.
Between the two of them, there was $1,500, right?
Right.
Which was
Yeah.
able to get me the first chunk of stuff that we just barely ran out of. Like I said, that lasted me 5 weeks.
Yeah.
So if I can get by with like even $1,500 a month, but again, I was also like gifted a bunch of cannabis. I got caps. I was gifted some gummies. There was other gifts and stuff involved in there too, right? So, yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. All right. So anybody's interested in helping out Tamara, get a hold of her on Facebook, or you can email her at
TamaraLee3@gmail.com, which also is the email that you can use for email transfer. Or you can just send me a message on Facebook and we can figure out whatever you want to do. Again, I'm always grateful for anything because it's not for me, it's for the people that live houseless and are addicted. And not all houseless too. I'm helping a few patients that aren't on site at Moyer. I also help 4 or 5 other patients off site too. So without that, I can't help them.
Yep. All righty. Just a reminder, we'll be back next week. Who knows what we're going to be talking about. And we'll be getting an update as we do all the time on Tamara and the CBK Cannabis Substitution Program.
Yeah. And I changed Facebook was giving me a hassle about having cannabis in the name. So it's just, so I just took cannabis out of there, made it cannabis substitution program.
CBK substitution program.
Yeah. And you can say cannabis substitution. I don't care, but it's just for Facebook.
Yeah. As far as people searching, I want to be accurate. So they're searching for the right thing.
Yeah. Substitution program, because cannabis, they wanted to take the group down. I had to fight with them a bit about it and kind of explain and appeal it because they literally just, wanted to shut us right off.
Right. Exactly. All right. Other than that, we'll be back, like I said, next week. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. And thanks to our sponsors, Legacy420.com, the Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, Limestone City Hydroponics.ca, as well as At-Eze.ca. Plus, thanks to everybody for tuning into the program. We will see you all next week. Bye-bye. Let's share PACE everywhere. That way it can help create peace. People everywhere advocating cannabis education.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.